Hey everyone, welcome back. Sometimes you come across a topic and think, okay, that's kind of interesting. But then you start digging deeper and realize how much it actually impacts, like, everything.
Yeah, you start to see it everywhere.
Exactly. And that's what happened when we started going through all this fascinating research on frame control. At first, it sounded a little, I don't know, maybe a bit abstract.
A little bit, yeah.
But the more we read, the more we realized how relevant it is to pretty much every interaction we have.
Every single one.
That's
From like big business deals to just chatting with your partner.
Right. And that's what we're going to unpack in today's deep dive. We're going to break down what frame control actually is, why it matters, and most importantly, how you can use it to feel more empowered in your own life.
It's gonna be good.
So, I think a good place to start would be to clear up some common misconceptions about frame control. Because, when people hear control, they might immediately think of manipulation or being domineering.
Yeah, for sure. Like trying to force people to do what you want.
Exactly, but that's not what this is about at all. One of the sources actually emphasizes that frame control is about setting healthy boundaries and asserting your self-worth, which is super important.
It's not about controlling others. It's about controlling how you show up.
I like that. So how would you define frame control, like in simple terms?
Good question. The way I see it, and pulling from this research too, it's about establishing and maintaining a desired narrative or context in a social interaction.
Okay, I think I get it. So it's less about trying to control the other person and more about controlling how you engage in that situation, right?
Exactly. It's about choosing how you want to respond, how you want to feel, and what message you want to send.
Because ultimately we can't control other people, but we can control ourselves.
100%. And that's super powerful.
Okay, so we've got a good handle on what frame control is, but why does it matter so much? Like, what's the big deal?
Well, the research points to a bunch of benefits, but I think a big one is respect. When you have a strong frame, you command more respect from others because you're not easily swayed or manipulated.
It's like you're grounded in your own sense of self, and that's attractive to people.
Totally. It also helps you be more resilient, especially in challenging situations. Like think about a time when someone tried to push your buttons or get a reaction out of you.
Oh, I've got a million of those.
Right. But when you have a strong frame, you're able to stay calm, collected, and not get pulled into their drama.
That's so important because it's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment and react in a way that we later regret.
Exactly. And then on top of all that, having a strong frame can help you achieve your goals more effectively. Like when you're clear about what you want and how you're going to get there, you're more likely to stay focused and not get sidetracked.
Okay, I'm seeing how this all ties together now. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, having a strong frame can actually make you more attractive to others. Tell me more about that.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it makes sense when you think about it. Confidence is attractive,
Right.
Ariane. And when you master your frame, you naturally project more confidence and self-assurance.
That makes a lot of sense. And this applies to all kinds of relationships too, right? Like romantic relationships, friendships, work relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All of them. Because at the end of the day, people are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin, who know what they want, and who aren't afraid to go after it.
It's not about playing games or trying to manipulate someone into liking you.
Not at all. It's about the energy you bring to the table and the way you carry yourself.
Speaking of different areas of life, the research dives into some really cool examples of how frame control plays out in specific situations, like in the workplace. And I think this is where it gets really practical for a lot of people. For example, it talks about how even the way you frame a request can totally change whether people say yes or no.
Oh, yeah. Framing is everything.
It's like that saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're trying to negotiate a better salary at work.
Ooh, good example.
If you go in feeling insecure and desperate, like you'll take anything they offer, you're probably not going to get what you deserve.
Probably not.
But if you can reframe that situation and focus on the value you bring to the company, all the amazing work you've done, then you're negotiating from a much stronger position.
You're like, hey, this is what I'm worth, not please hire me.
Right. It's about owning your worth and presenting yourself in a way that demands respect.
Okay, I love all of this. So let's say someone is listening to this and thinking, all right, I need to get better at this whole frame control thing. Where do they even begin?
Good question. The research emphasizes that self-awareness is key. Like, you got to understand your own values, your strengths, what you stand for.
Like, know yourself.
Yes, because you can't build a strong frame if you don't even know what the foundation is. Once you've got that, You can start practicing assertiveness, setting clear boundaries with people, and using positive affirmations to reinforce that strong internal frame.
And I imagine, like any skill, it takes time and practice to really master.
For sure, don't get discouraged if you don't see results overnight. Just be patient with yourself, celebrate the small victories along the way, and remember that it's a journey.
It all comes back to that idea that frame control is a fundamental skill. Like, it really impacts how we navigate life's challenges, how we build relationships, how we see the world around us.
And how we let the world see us.
Yes, I love that. Well, on that note, I think that's the perfect place to wrap up today's deep dive. Hopefully, this has given you a lot to think about and maybe even inspired you to start looking at your own interactions a little differently.
I hope so too.
So, here's a final thought for you to chew on. If you could master your own frame in any situation, what's the one area of your life where you'd want to see the biggest impact?